The second arson case. This is part 19, A Walk in Elysian Fields.
Man, after someone pointed out what Manifest Destiny meant as a title, I'm like on the lookout for horrible puns. And I have no idea what they could be going for here.
Does Elysian mean anything to you?
It's a reference to the Greek afterlife, but beyond that, I don't think so. Oh god, it's heavy rain.
That's awesome. The origami killer.
No, he's doing 1,000 paper cranes. That's probably, like, a good thing.
Oh, pardon me.
I hope. I don't know.
House fire. Bad one. At least 4 Vicks. Get out there and find out what you can. The address is 650 North Hobart.
You know, the dispatch lady would have known that address instantly.
Skipping on the intro cutscene here.
Yeah, not even a dialogue as you're walking around the building.
There he is, the cop in the newspaper. You should be ashamed of yourself, young man.
Yeah, wait until I'm past you to make the jab at me. Too cowardly to say it to my face.
I can tell you are nice.
I was wondering if you were going to be switching it up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They assume I go to arson, I gotta go back to my cheap suit. I guess that's part of being demoted. From where I sit, though, there's no suit other than the Hawkshaw. I mean, it's the only suit that allows you to not be in cover.
I suppose that's true.
More magic doors in this case.
Huh. You know, I bet that guy doing the origami was our arsonist, the one with the mental issues. Doing the origami cranes probably helps, like, OCD or some other trauma-related thing.
Yeah, he was in a really decrepit house.
Yep.
Are we having a conversation, bitch? Okay, fuck it. Forget it. I'm teasing you, Herschel. Tell me about it.
The new housing development's a couple of weeks from completion. Burned to the ground last night. GIs are ready to move in this weekend. Developer's gonna have some very angry customers.
Yeah, okay, so that's not...
Shit about Chapman. The arson customer tried to nail that son of a bitch for years.
He's still in custody, Herschel.
Wanna bet? Fella kicked him loose already. Can't hold him for misdemeanor cigarettes and matches.
So is this following, like, literally right on the heels of the previous case or something?
Certainly seems that way. Very next day, I would say.
Yeah, if not the same day.
Left here.
I can't remember what I was going to say before the conversation anymore. Oh, well.
Keep heading through this one.
Yeah, that guy from the opening cutscene was in a decrepit house, and good guys are never in decrepit houses.
Yeah.
Right up ahead.
No, he was probably our arsonist, who has mental issues. Yeah, they haven't done anything in this case yet, so it's kind of hard to find anything to talk about. Oh, that's what I was going to say. They're really hinting heavily to Cole towards the GI development connection.
Yep.
So. Huh. The structure is still intact. It's interesting. They're really playing up the disconnect now between player and character knowledge in favor of the player.
You guys better see this. I hope you have strong stomachs.
There was
Right.
a couple cases in Vice where Cole clearly knew more than we did. Jesus.
Do you have a name? Morelli, Mike. We recovered a picture of the family.
Okay. Anything else?
Be honest, I just got here, Phelps. Best you talk to Lynch. He's the expert.
Doesn't make any sense. Why aren't they scattered around like the rest of the debris?
I think they've been moved. Ooh. I think someone moved them after the explosion and before the fire.
Can you explain that, please?
I'm almost positive the cause of death is asphyxiation due to gas inhalation. Look at the parts of their bodies that aren't scorched. The coloring around the fingertips is typical.
They wouldn't have felt a thing.
I think fire damage is post-mortem. I think someone moved him into this room after the explosion.
It still doesn't make any sense. Why would you run into a burning building?
Really? You're working on the arson desk and you ask that question? That's really gruesome.
Sure is.
What are we doing?
Prayer effect is from the fire. The muscles and tendons contract.
So the question is, what were they doing?
All the difference, Phelps.
You ever think about how many people have died in this world? And how big heaven would have to be to accommodate them, Biggs?
No, I have not. Show some respect.
It's our boy. I think he watches the fires. I think the Sawyer fire went wrong.
So what about the guy we have in jail, Phelps?
We got the wrong guy.
That doesn't explain why he ran into a burning building. What would make anyone do that?
Guilt.
For the fires?
For his mistake. This guy wants to burn houses, not families. He expects the houses to be empty. He was trying to redeem himself. Probably thought they'd be happier together.
You are one very disturbed individual, Phelps. I know you had it rough lately, but you should start to compartmentalize your thoughts.
You could be right. Can you come up with an alternative explanation?
Sure, it's the same guy.
Are you telling me that some son of a bitch murdered these people, the whole family, and arranged them here like Cupid dolls?
Might fit, Cole, but I don't think we could ever prove it. There's very little evidence.
Jesus.
Evidence?
Albert, check out the hot water system. Make sure we're dealing with the same MO.
Sure, Phelps. I'll get back to you.
Leave the rest to us, Cole. You gotta find out what's eating Big.
So something finally got to you.
You want my help, pretty boy? You got it. You keep riding me and you won't be pretty much longer.
We can get this guy, Herschel.
You think you've seen everything, Phelps? I was with the 2nd Marines at Bella Wood. The things that went on in that farmhouse. My own guys on fire, screaming for a way out. You're not gonna get this guy. There's gonna be no photos and no citations. We're gonna kill this miserable fuck. End of story. You getting this?
So a fire attack in his backstory.
You remember the
Interesting.
list from the travel agent?
Sure.
The Morellis were winners too. Their name was on that list.
Christ. We should take a look around, work the neighbors, see what they know.
Why on earth?
Okay.
Why aren't you investigating the obvious connection with the development fund?
I haven't done this for years.
Oh my god.
Well, that's the sweepstakes
You don't
angle.
look like a fireman,
Yes, but-
son.
LAPD. Can you tell me anything about the fire next door?
Terrible luck. Imagine after having won that weekend away.
What's your name, sir?
Foreman. Dudley Foreman.
Did you see or hear anything that might have...
Look, we were asleep when we heard the explosion.
You didn't like Morelli, did you?
Some neighbors you get along with, some you don't. Guess they should have sold up.
What do you mean?
They're knocking down all these old houses and building a new subdivision for GIs. Morelli was being difficult.
You said someone is knocking these houses down?
Elysian Fields. You must know them. Their billboards, that Monroe character beaming down at you. We've had an offer for the house.
Did the Morellis want to sell?
I don't know.
Whatever you thought of Morelli, his whole family is dead. They couldn't have all deserved that. I want you to help me here, Foreman.
Morelli was pig-headed. He built the house himself. He didn't want to sell. Stubborn fool was ruining it for all of us.
You said the Morellis had won a weekend away to Catalina Island?
Yeah, that's right. First thing I thought after the explosion was, thank goodness they was away. Then I find out they was still in there.
Who was running the competition?
What? I don't know.
I need more, Mr. Foreman. Tell me what you know about the suburban redevelopment
What was the
fund.
correct?
I guess
angle?
that's supposed to be
Nothing about
truth.
it. I've never heard of them.
Oh, well, probably didn't miss out on any information there.
All a man can do is put in a prayer for the dead. That's about all I've got to say.
I don't know what he hopes to get from the neighbors, really.
I'm really interested in the Herschel character's backstory. I wonder if they're going to explore it. The fact that there was a fire in his time in the Marines, and now he ended up working at the arson desk. It seems like the very last place that you would want to end up working after a traumatic experience involving a fire.
Well, if he was in the First World War, he probably had a whole host of traumatic experience. They have a dog. They have the same doghouse. Man, someone's stealing the dogs.
Looks like the same model.
That name's familiar.
Yep, that's the guy you chose not to...
The guy who's going back to Detroit for that beef.
Right.
This is the flashpoint. The heater detonated with enough force to expose the foundations.
Yeah, I mean, my instinct at this point would be, okay, the clear link is with this redevelopment fund. We need to get everyone on that.
Yep.
How did you get my number, Ira?
At first, I didn't understand you. But now I do.
I'd like you to come back to the clinic.
I'm helping other people now, Doctor.
I think you are confused. You haven't been to the clinic for weeks.
I'm not confused anymore, Doctor. I'm helping people be together.
This world is only temporary. We'll all be happier in heaven. Why don't you tell me where you are and I can come to you? I think the fires should end now. They have served their purpose.
Oh, the fires are only beginning, Doctor. After the fires, everything will be beautiful and clean.
Everything will be erased. The world will be fresh and new.
I can see my purpose now, Doctor. And you helped me to find it.
It is odd that they are going out of their way to make sure the player knows exactly what's going on with the overarching plot for the arson desk.
Even though Cole is totally not clued in.
Yeah.
Even though Cole totally should be clued in, though. It's like the only obvious link.
Yeah. Well, he should at least be investigating along that trail.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not as well handled as the homicide desk, unless there's a reason for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming there will be a reason. I'm just noticing that they're doing it very differently, and I am intrigued. Like, that cutscene basically explicitly told us, here's what's going on with the thing you're doing right now.
Although we do know that the timelines have been off in those newspapers before.
True,
So
but at
this could have been a contract hit, and now the guy's gone crazy, or the guy could have gone crazy and now he's
I don't think a sane person could have arranged the bodies like that.
interesting.
I mean, to me, it seems pretty clear. He's cracked. Now he started deliberately setting fires with the intent of killing people.
So do you think he still gets the contracts, like burn this house down,
I
but
think
he chooses to do it with the people inside?
so. I think he was getting contracts, and then, there was one, maybe the one from last time where it all got messed up, and he accidentally, and the family was there, and that was incredibly traumatic. And we saw his phone call with the doctor, and I think the way he found to cope with it is to convince himself that he had done a good thing by burning the family and killing them all and sending them to heaven. And
Right.
he's found that rationalization, because otherwise it would have been murder and he doesn't know what to do. And so now, if that was true, if that was a good thing, then clearly it is the right thing to do that to other people also.
But this house is a family that wouldn't sell to the Suburban Redevelopment Fund, so
True.
clearly they were on a list somewhere. Maybe he has a list and he's just working down the list, but
Yeah.
he's no longer going out of his way to ensure that the people live.
Mm-hmm. I'm confused about the relative timing of the carbon monoxide poisoning,
There isn't
the
much I can tell you right
explosion, and the fire.
Yeah, because I said they were positioned after the explosion.
But how does that... But they died of carbon monoxide? I don't know.
So, yeah, that's weird. Is it like they died, there was an explosion, the guy ran into the fire to position them before the house finished burning down?
Yeah, I guess that must have been what it was. That doesn't quite make sense, though.
I had to use an intuition point here because I am at my wit's end trying to find this last clue.
Ah, well, okay.
Turns out it's all the way over here.
Somebody gonna tell us what the hell is going on?
Oh.
I don't know how you were supposed to find that. That's far
Tricky
away.
as hell, yeah.
Whoever he was wearing boondockers. I would know that imprint anywhere.
Must be a military shoe, then.
Yep.
Someone was keeping watch. Looks like they were here for quite a while. Brand looks distinctive.
I was thinking more about the last case and how they, like, made sure the player knew we didn't have either of the right guys. And I think the reason they did that is because they were, you know, framing the case as Cole starting along the path of atonement, as it were. And, you know he really wants to solve a case. And so the point of that was just to play up the irony of he's trying to be a good case man again and do good work even in arson. And everyone thinks he does, but we, the player, know he hasn't gotten it. And it's just kind of building that sense of, brokenness. Irony is, in fact, the exact word I want there, but I already used that, so.
Yeah. That's a good point. Very good point.
Did you see anyone hanging around the Morelli's home prior to the explosion?
Nope. Can't say as I was looking out, though.
You sure, Mr. Foreman? There are signs of someone hanging around over there by the fence.
Hey, now that you come to think of it, there was a guy. Kind of tall. Skinny, though.
Anything else?
Orange lumber jacket, beat-up hat, and no hair. I thought he was the pest exterminator guy who was working around here the last few days. But that guy had hair.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Foreman.
Sure. Hey, if you're interested, I have one of those competition flyers in the kitchen. I could get it for you if you like.
That would be great.
Any luck, Cole?
A couple of things. What did you pick up?
Folded piece of paper. Looks complicated.
Japanese call it origami.
That was
Huh.
the Japan theme.
Sure.
Yes, it was. And this...
Paper crane. There's a legend about them. You fold 1,000 of these and you get a wish.
Come to think of it, they played the Japan theme over the intro as well.
Yep.
Hey, don't break it.
I'm not. I'm unfolding it. It looks like a waybill or a flyer.
For what?
For Elysian Fields developments.
Oh, I see you already have one.
When did the flyer arrive in your mailbox?
They've been arriving for weeks. This one was in the mailbox when I got home from work yesterday afternoon.
Interesting, this is a time period when not everyone or anyone would know what origami is.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I need an address for a property developer. Elysian Fields Developments.
Well, we're finally going down this path, so that's good.
Yep.
Detective. The address is 748 North Oxford Avenue, Wilshire. Anything else?
Messages, please.
You have a message. Contact Captain McKelty immediately.
Thanks. Can you put me through, operator?
Of course.
How did he know he had a message? He's never asked before.
Meh.
Commander?
Leads on the Morelli fire.
We're about to go and visit Elysian Fields Developments.
You
You're about to do what? Leland Monroe? He's a personal friend of the mayor and the chief. Are you out of your mind? I'm warning you, Phelps.
To the moon!
Commander, we have a line of inquiry.
You have something, you bring it to me. You're hanging by a thread, Phelps. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Have a report on my desk today.
That was very...
Kelty has warned us off over Elysian.
Makes sense. It's a dead end. We should check out
Check
Rancho
what?
Escondido.
You know the place.
Where the other fires were.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That was very awkwardly handled. Because he doesn't make a habit of always checking to see if he has messages. And it didn't really, therefore, make sense that he would expect to have a message there. There wasn't anyone he was waiting to hear back from.
And there's an easy enough fix. The operator could have just said, "Oh, and do you have a message?"
Yeah, I know. Also, why would the chief or captain have wanted to talk to him there?
Yeah, that's true.
That is literally the first time, including on the previous arson case, when our captain has actually
Asked for
followed up
follow-up,
just to
yeah.
ask where we are.
It's not unplausible. I mean,
No.
it is plausible.
Yeah.
It's just it's never happened before.
Exactly, and it feels shoved in because they couldn't think of a better way to bring in the corruption angle.
Yeah. They don't have a Roy Earl who would just bring it up
Right.
instantly.
And they really could have just, even if Herschel hadn't recognized the name Elysian Fields, he's Leland Monroe. Wait, Cole, he's a friend of the chief and the mayor and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, it's true. Maybe they want to make sure that Herschel stays a good, clean character.
I mean, they could even have had him tell Cole, you should call the captain and check in with him if you're going to pursue this. And then...
Yeah.
there are times when you really miss a nightstick. There's more religion in the end of a nightstick than in 100 cathedrals.
Wow.
Good line. I'm still unpacking it to see if it actually makes sense.
I'm not gonna tell you again, sir.
Don't tell me when and how I can come and go on my own property.
It is not
This is America,
safe,
dickhead.
sir. Now step back, or I'll lock you up for
Smart
a play.
mouth son of a bitch.
Come back here. You're not getting out that easy.
That's done. We're gonna have to pacify these people, Seth.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah, did you actually manage to not take a hit that time?
I haven't lost my hat yet.
Does that fall off at the first hit?
Typically.
Well, good for you.
Dude, I'm on fire.
Yeah, you got the timing down.
Oh, I just got lucky.
He boxed in
Ooh-ah.
the Marines,
It's true.
Good thing you showed up when you did, detectives. Those folks were baying for blood.
Okay, then.
Where/when did we hear about this fire? Oh,
In the
this is
very
the
first car
development
ride.
that, the whole thing that burned down.
Yep,
Okay. So not houses that actually belong to anyone yet.
that is correct.
This is a big area to potentially search for clues.
I can't seem to go up, though.
Well, there's several other houses you could look at.
Generally, the character stops at a interesting point. Like your partner will walk up to the interesting point and wait there. I expect
What?
a wall to open when he pulls off
Yeah.
that brick.
Mortar is like dust. Is that normal in a fire?
You'd expect some shrinkage in the heat, but it looks like the cement barely adhered to the brick. Doesn't appear to be any wall ties either. This thing looks like it was built on the cheap.
And so this is not one of the suburban development ones. Whoa!
No, it is. I think it is.
I thought it was...
No, so the
If we're paying a visit to Elysian and ruining my career, let's bite the bullet and
the
get
ones
out.
we've visited so far are well-built houses that Elysian Fields wants to demolish to build their homes.
Mhm.
And this is a development that Elysian Fields has built,
Got it. Okay.
which is now burnt to the ground. So maybe our arsonist is out for revenge or something.
Huh. Yeah, it could
You
be.
can drive.
All right. Where to?
So we are just explicitly ignoring the captain's actual order, huh?
Yeah, well, as the guy commented, if we're gonna ruin our pension, we might as well bite the bullet. When you think about that expression, bite the bullet, it doesn't imply something that you would survive.
Nope. Mythbusters actually tested that one. It is impossible to catch a bullet in your teeth.
Well, no shit.
Well, there, people, put on acts where they, had illusions that they could do it.
Detectives Phelps and Biggs, LAPD, to see Leland Monroe.
Do you have an appointment?
We're the police, lady. We don't need an appointment.
Can I tell him what it's about?
It's an official investigation.
There are 2 police officers here to see Mr. Monroe. Send them through.
Does he have 2 secretaries?
Well, she's the receptionist, and then he probably has a personal secretary.
Yeah, I suppose that was the case at the soup factory.
Of course, normally there's also other people somewhere in the building.
We would like to speak to Mr. Monroe.
I'm afraid it's impossible. Mr. Monroe's schedule is booked weeks in advance.
Cut to the chase, sister. Is he in?
I'm not at liberty to reveal that, officer.
So he hired you for your intelligence?
I find that offensive.
You have every right.
This is getting us nowhere, miss.
Casino.
Would you like us to return with a warrant?
That won't be necessary, gentlemen. Come into my office.
Oof, that was a close one. Good thing no one called us out on the fact that warrants don't exist.
Also, for being booked weeks in advance, it's unclear what he was doing in this pre-reserved time.
Well,
sure, I'll have a scotch.
Biggs.
That's a standard thing. That just means he doesn't want to see you.
Yeah.
I mean, he can have booked time to do work on his own without seeing people. There is a shocking variety of houses on display. Like, there's at least 3 or 4 different models.
We're investigating a series of domestic fires, Mr. Monroe.
It's terrible, boy. How can I help?
Elysian Fields and Suburban Redevelopment Fund flyers keep turning up in the vicinity of the fires.
They're turning up all over town, boys. Can you imagine the current demand for housing?
So that's your explanation, Mr. Monroe? Coincidence?
Explanation? Why, what's to explain? I advertise on radio and billboards for buyers, and I advertise for sellers using waybills.
His eyes look closed.
Yeah, they really do.
We found a family burnt out in their home. Another house burned to the ground. Another Elysian Fields flyer. Our information is that they didn't want to sell.
Are you saying that's something to do with me? Is that your point?
Point is, every time we find a family barbecue, we find one of your flyers. Is that good advertising?
This is an odd approach.
What do you know about a competition for families to win free
There we go.
vacations to Catalina Island?
My company runs many promotions. I'm not familiar with that.
Sort of like asking Mickey Cohen if he deals drugs.
Yeah.
Level with me, Mr. Monroe. You know all about the vacation offers.
You can believe whatever you like, son. You're missing the vital ingredient called proof.
You just said that there are millions of waybills everywhere.
Yeah. I guess you want the flyer that has your picture. Yeah.
Your face is all over the flyers, Mr. Monroe. You know about the prizes, and you're aware that they get given to holdouts.
My face is the brand. It's on all our advertising. Did you know that the mayor and the chief of police are part of the Suburban Redevelopment Fund? You want to accuse them of murder as well?
We've made offers to buy houses in areas where fires have been recorded.
Are you suggesting that I'm burning people out of their homes
So that I can sell them new ones?
What happens to your plans if a family like the Morellis refuses to sell?
We work around them. Business finds a way. That's the American way.
Come on, Mr. Monroe. You expect me to believe that you would build a new development with one of those old piles smack bang in the center of it?
Progress is an inexorable process, Detective. Those who choose to stand in defiance are usually confined to the waste basket of history.
That didn't...
To answer your question, yes, we would build around them if we had to. Most people see...
I was going to say, the first half of his answer didn't even come close to addressing the question.
What's Elysian Field's involvement in Rancho Escondido?
This line of questioning is very disjointed.
One of our latest housing developments. It was due to open on the weekend, or was before the unfortunate conflagration.
It met with building code regulation.
Absolutely. Only the best for our returning heroes.
Again, bizarre approach.
You're lying, Monroe. There's something out of kilter about that development.
Son, I've had enough of you and your fidgety friend. There's no way in hell you can prove that my materials were inferior.
Why are we even bringing this up? What does this matter?
I'm no expert, but I think we'll find that the bricks being used on those houses are undersized and the mortar is faulty.
And there's no wall ties connecting the masonry to the frame.
Every building is built to a budget, boys. Those buildings were inspected and fully insured by California Fire and Life. Investment of that magnitude demands it. Do you think that they'd vouch for the buildings without examining?
After we get demoted from arson,
The arsonist.
we're going to go
Have
into
any
building
suspects?
inspection.
I didn't think so. The contractors I use for waybills. I suppose it could be any of them. I have a list of their names. If it'd be
He said, offering an obvious plant.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. I'm always happy to help the LAPD. My secretary will provide you with that list. Did you know that I'm on the board of the police pension fund?
Damn.
Glad to be of help, officers.
Here's a list of wanted felons. I mean,
What's the story?
totally legitimate
Any of these names
employees.
ring a bell?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anything jump out at you?
No.
Herbert Chapman is on this list.
Not
Find the phone. We need to
basically
know where
it's a
we're at with
list
Chapman.
of known arsonists.
Yeah, exactly.
So in this entire office there's one actual person working and two
Boss is a
secretaries. That's
fine
great.
man.
Can you go in that door across from her? It seems to have a gold handle.
Yeah, I need to, because I have to find a phone. I will realize that shortly.
Ah, okay.
People!
Here's where the rest of the employees are. Or might be someday.
I should have asked for a jury.
Don't mind me, ma'am.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you check whether we are still holding a Herbert Chapman?
Let me find out for you. He was released this morning, Detective. I'm sorry, Detective.
Not your fault. Can you give me a last known address and put out an APB on the guy?
I'll get back to you, Detective. APB will go out over KGPL shortly.
Oh, check that out. I'll get back
Thanks for
to
your
you.
help.
Yeah. Weird. Wonder what plot reason they had for arbitrarily delaying that. Oh.
She does have a good voice.
Meanwhile, 2 cases ago.
Give me your heart, and baby, I'll bill it, 'cause I always kill the things
Yep.
I love. Some
Buy me a
folk
drink,
will
Cole?
die for the
No.
sake of a
Not even for old time's sake? Not even for that? You're not gonna ask me why I'm here? I wouldn't give you the pleasure. We'll get around to it. She's in fine voice this evening. I wonder how the commander would feel
Save
about...
the threats for someone who cares about the boy.
You're breaking my heart, Cole. You know how I feel about you. Stay away from Elysian Fields.
I should have known that you were playing Aaron.
You and your doofus partner. You have been warned.
Thanks for your cooperation, officer.
I love you.
Stay away. You have no idea the type of people that are involved in that.
I have a pretty good idea, Roy. The same kind of people that sent you here.
Your investigation is finished. Homicide will be taking over from here. I've heard we've had a spate of grass fires in the hills that you and that hunchback might be able to handle. Thanks for the drink, Cole.
Problem is, Cole has nothing to lose.
Pretty much. Oh gosh.
You get the message about Monroe?
Yeah, Earl delivered it. You?
McKelty. He started making noises about my pension.
Sorry about that, Herbert. I didn't mean to drag you into this.
Save it, Phelps. Monroe's an asswipe. And so was Earl. And so was McKelty when it's all said and done.
Oh god. I just realized your partner is metaphorically 5 days away from retirement.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
11K, go ahead.
11K, the last known address of suspect Herbert Chapman is 650 North Kingsley Drive in Wilshire.
Roger that, KGPL. 11K en route.
Let's go pick him up.
Once again, Cole carries his call sign from desk to desk.
I did.
Yeah.
But I don't like to talk about it.
You come across a guy called Jack Kelso out that way?
You know Jack Kelso?
He's an insurance investigator over at California Fire and Life. Our paths cross from time to time. For some reason, seeing you makes me think of him.
Has Jack spoken to you about his experiences on Sugarloaf? Or the rest of the campaign?
Jack keeps stum just like you do.
That was Yiddish.
Yay.
To get back from conflict. You gotta respect that.
I like to think that when he said, hey, you know a Jack Kelso, Cole literally screeched to a halt. Because that's what you did.
That's pretty awesome. I did not mean to,
No.
but yes.
Ooh, we're getting clouds again, I just noticed. It's getting gray. That's excellent.
Yeah, you can't really do the Red Dead Redemption skybox because it's LA. There's only two types of skies, like clear blue or nighttime.
Yeah, well, this works. This we're definitely.
I mean, it's not believable. It doesn't feel like Los Angeles.
But we're building a sense of
No need to
sort of dread.
Yeah, very true.
They're finally kind of turning up the gas on the actual conspiracy angle and the idea of, there's some things Cole's not allowed to get into.
Can you go ride at the next
Oh yeah, I mean, this is clearly going to be the last story arc of the game, right?
Right.
I mean, I expect this to be taking us all the way through the very last case.
Yep. So my question is, Jesus Christ, whether Cole worked out specifically that Roy sold him out.
I think he can read between the lines.
Probably, but the way it's presented to him is his wife's lawyer had incriminating photos.
Yeah, and who could have gotten those photos if not his partner?
Well,
Who knew
if
he
his wife
following
was
Elsa?
suspicious.
That's true.
Oh God. Really? Oh, okay, that's fine then.
No, not fine.
Oh God.
I cannot climb this wall. And this thing appeared. And now I cannot get in this car. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
The game, just the pop-in actually completely screwing you over. Like we've been
And the
making
fact
fun
that I
of...
can't climb a half-height wall.
Yeah, well, that's silly, but we've been commenting on the ridiculous, graphical pop-in the entire game, and that was the best possible instance of it.
Look at him.
Yeah.
We're looking for Herbert Chapman.
I'm looking for him too. I need him to move his car so I can mow the lawn.
He's definitely not here.
I've been banging on his door off and on for a couple of hours. Yeah. He's out.
Was Chapman one of the suspects in that earlier?
He was the firebug that we saw across from.
Look at the car.
Let's see what
I think.
around.
That's right. That sounds right. And he's also an Elysian Fields delivery man.
It gives him opportunity.
Oh, this is so planted. Oh my god.
No, I think he actually did have this job dropping off the flyers. But
Should revise the APB.
I think he was hired to do this job so that he could be sold out as needed.
Ah, that would make sense.
These Elysian guys seem pretty smart. Like, I think that I would give them credit for planning ahead.
Yep, that makes sense.
Get this guy on payroll just so they could sell him out
Cole,
when they need to.
haven't you learned to recognize potentially planted evidence
There
yet?
he is. It's Chapman. He's coming out of the laundromat. Shit. He's seen us.
Cops. Again.
What? How come he's allowed to get on?
Son of a bitch. He must have caught the trolley. We gotta move fast, Cole. I'll call this in. Get some cars dispatched. Car
Did the
11K
trolley just
calling
hit a
KGPL.
car?
Yep.
11K requesting assistance.
I don't know how I'm supposed to
In
knock
pursuit
this
of
guy off the
suspect
road.
aboard
He's on
1110
track.
University streetcar, currently heading east
Oh.
on Melrose Avenue. Advise
Yeah.
all units. Suspect is in control of car and
He's
driving
hijacked it.
dangerously.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say?
I'm having trouble deciding how to approach this problem. Like, I can't
Yeah.
drive on practically either side of it. I'm gonna wreck my car. I can't rear end him. I can't, like, spin him out. Oh, God.
Stay on his ass, Cole. Don't lose
I don't know.
him.
What am I supposed to do? I guess I have to get in front of him?
Stay in
and
his
stop?
wake.
Look, Cole, the side plate's gone. Get me closer.
What, like, draft off?
Oh no, they want you to get by the side of the front, I guess.
Yeah.
Hold him
Yeah.
tight, Cole.
I was gonna say,
Soon
all
as
he
gets
actually
the
needs to
trap,
do
we'll
is
be there to
never get
grab him.
out again, because he's the only person who can actually get on. It's an interesting.
Get me closer to the driver's
It's an
cabin.
interesting
One
idea.
Chapman.
What? How the hell did that work?
End of the line, you little
I
prick.
shot the tires out.
What tires?
And that's what happens when you bring a knife to a gunfight.
Uh,
It doesn't even let you punch. You can't punch when you're holding a gun. You can only shoot. The buttons do nothing.
can you
Oh, well.
put the gun away?
I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do in that scenario. If you don't realize that you've drawn a weapon, which I didn't realize.
Oh
there.
man, they
Son
make
of
you
a
do the
bitch, he must have
entire
caught the trolley.
sequence over again?
We gotta move fast.
And now that I know what I'm doing, it should be a little easier, right?
So here's the deal. The trolley's
Call this
like
in. Get
on
some cars
rails.
dispatched. Car 11K calling KGPL.
This is you knowing what to do.
Yeah, totally.
11K requesting assistance. In pursuit of suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar, currently heading east on Melrose Avenue. Advise all units. Suspect is in control of car and driving dangerously.
So you know that your partner is in your passenger seat, right?
No. Oh yeah. No, no. Oh, come on. Oh.
Huh. Last time that pulled out early enough that it was already there instead of working its way into the street.
See if he can damage one of the wheels. Might act like a brake and slow the thing down.
Alright, so that actually makes sense now.
Hold him tight,
Overtake
Cole.
on the
Soon as he
left.
ditches the tram, we'll be there to grab him.
Don't leave me hanging out here, Phelps. Move in.
Thank you.
Sure thing. I could totally hear you.
Yeah, I know.
From the past when I was recording
I'm really
this
glad
game.
we're doing this live.
To the driver's cabin. I'm on Chapman.
That makes no sense. Why does it spin out? How does it
You
spin
lock
out?
up the wheel, and the wheel acts like a brake, and then you've got your front brake on.
Okay.
That was the conceit that they offered me. Now I want him to get out so I can smash my car into him.
Get out of your car, he'll come out, then get back into your car.
Okay.
Looks like we have our man, Cole. Well done.
I'm not so sure. Chapman seemed to have his own agenda. There seems to be more to this than a personal vendetta.
What are you talking about?
Fires benefit Elysian in some way. I see Chapman and Monroe working together.
What? Chapman shoot
You have a
and run?
point. The evidence is good for Chapman. Hard to be worrying about his side of the story when he's blasting away with that big 45.
That was a really well done shot between the lighting and the rain and the camera angle.
Nice work, gentlemen. Put yourself at considerable risk stopping that trolley and probably saved a lot of lives. Anyone else but you, Phelps, and you'd be up for a bravery award. We've had our eyes on that slippery son of a bitch Chapman for as long as I can remember. Couldn't be happier than to wipe him off the scoreboard. I hope this puts to bed that crazy stuff you had going about Leland Monroe. What were you thinking, Phelps? We'll be calling Richard Nixon a crook next.
Okay, that was really obvious, but...
Yep.
That was in fact such an obvious joke that I actually had to pause and mentally go, oh right, it's 1947. Well, okay. Yeah, that basically, that no longer even feels like an individual case as much as a chapter in a longer investigation.
Yep. It's taking a long time to load the results screen.
Oh, are we already at results? No coda?
I don't know. It sort of felt like a conclusion to me, but
I mean, from the captain's perspective, the case is over, but from Cole's, it certainly isn't.
What is it?
A letter from Lou. His insurance policy named me beneficiary.
California Fire and Life. You worked for Elysian?
The roof that he was working on collapsed.
It's a very generous settlement. Elsa, I'd like you to do something for me. I think there's something dirty about Elysian Fields.
What has that got to do with Lou?
I want you to reject this settlement. I want you to go and see an investigator named Jack Kelso and ask him to make some inquiries about Lou's case.
Isn't this police work?
Do you want to find out what happened to Lou?
Why would he help, this Kelso?
Jack won't be able to help himself if he smells a rat.
He's a friend of yours?
He hates my guts. Elsa, you could take this money and let them get away with it, or we could get Jack's help and do something about it.
Why not be honest with this man, Cole? He deserves your honesty if you want his help.
Believe me, Elsa, I'd like to level with him. I really would, but it's too late. Years too late.
Who's Lou?
I have no idea. Friend of hers who died.
Not the one from the end of the Fallen Idol?
Well, they said he died in a construction accident.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't remember that guy's name, though.
That's it.
Yep. Huh. Interesting. I don't know what... Does Cole genuinely think that the insurance thing there is funny, or...
Where would you take this investigation next, if you're Cole?
Huh.
Do you go after Elysian? Do you go after Roy and the police department? Do you follow the insurance angle? What do you think?
I mean, this is where you want to stop talking to people and start doing book research. Like, find out who the investors are in Elysian. You know, look up the records, go to the Chamber of Commerce. You know, figure out clearly someone big and crooked is involved here. And, get the list of names. Because, and I mean, from a story perspective, Cole doesn't know, but he'll recognize one or two names on that list as people that he wouldn't normally expect to be amongst the, rich and powerful.
Like who?
Well, Fontaine, I bet. I don't know. But his approach of, let's go to the guy I suspect is corrupt and behind everything and ask him if he's guilty, that's not so much working.
Is that Monroe?
Yeah, well, Monroe, and like you pointed out, Mickey Cohen. Like, that's not gonna accomplish anything.
Yep. So are we still following this arson thread? Are we looking for the serial arsonist, or are we just going to drop that because we're on to bigger issues
Well,
here?
I think the serial arsonist is going to continue being a serial arsonist, and so Cole will have independent motivation to stop him. But I think he's now also just going to keep pulling at the corruption thread. Because, as you pointed out, he basically has nothing left to lose.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Well, we really are nearing the end of this game, and I personally can feel it.
Yeah. Man, I wonder if they'll let you play a chapter as Kelso. That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
All right. Let's see you next time.